Hello there. Today I'm going to take you behind the scenes to Greece's foremost international food expo. Later on in the video I'm going to show you some drone footage of my building project and give you an update about what's going on over at the house. I also have a surprise at the end, so stay tuned and enjoy. I'm ready. FoodEXPO is a 3-day event that is held at the Metropolitan Expo Center right outside the airport of Athens. It's visited by many people from all over the world, and it's definitely the premier exposition that takes place in Greece. I'm excited about this year because it's the first real food expo since the COVID pandemic. There was one last year, but I didn't participate, and I was told that it was very weak. But I'm very, very enthusiastic about this year. I think it's going to be better than ever. I exhibit with the South Aegean Group. We are sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce of the Cyclades, and it's a great combination of products from all over the islands. This year I have help for the first 2 days from a young woman named Alexia who was raised on Kea. She speaks several languages and she's been eating my cookies since she was a little girl. It's Sunday morning. I'm in charge of the stand for now, and Alexia is behind making the database of the cards that we collected yesterday. Big help. Busy. A lot of people visiting first thing on Sunday, so I'm optimistic. The database is all important as it's the way we communicate with our new connections. I'm driving by my house every day on my way to the expo, and it's so nice to see the lavender blooming so beautifully outside. I'm always one of the first to come in the morning. I like to come early, set up, kind of look around, have a coffee, get my bearings, and then get on with the day. Our sponsored booths are quite small, but they do the job, and later I'll show you what it looks like in the big players room. We're in Hall 1 of 4 different halls. The Hall 1 is kind of the most interesting because it's where all the municipalities are, so we really attract a lot of people to our hall. Many of the municipalities are jealous of the South Aegean because they are very committed to supporting gastronomy and small producers in an attempt to bind that together with a higher level of tourism for the area. I'm really appreciative of their support, and I really, really love the location of my stand this year. It's right out in the front, and it's getting a lot of attention. The work involves standing and speaking from 10 in the morning until 7 in the evening each day. Something you'd think would be exhausting, but actually gives me a lot of energy. I get a lot of feedback from people. I hear a lot of amazingly positive, enthusiastic things. Now try listening to this for 10 hours a day, 3 days in a row. Here's some snapshots of my display case. I brought acorn pasta, the magazine cover that I was on, some awards, marmalade that I made this year, and acorn flour. The acorn fruit chews that are vegan, gluten-free, sugar-free, and raw were definitely the big hit of this expo, and I'll be making more flavors very soon. 27 hours of this music. This is our staging area. Also serves as the smoking room. Despite very strict rules against smoking. And I get to watch the airplanes take off all day, which is pretty cool. On the last day, I took a walk around the other halls. Some of the booths are really impressive, But I have to say that our hall consistently had many more people, many more visitors than any of the other halls did. I'm really glad to see that people are seeking out small producers from all over Greece and trying to support local economies. Before I knew it, it was time to pack up, and I have to say this is probably the first exposition I've ever been really sorry that was ending. It was such a positive experience after so many years, and it was really great to feel that the company was going to be back on track and meeting up with old clients, getting new clients, some very interesting new clients that I'll talk about in the future. But suffice to say, it was a great, great expo. Having passed by the house every day on my way to work at the Expo, I decided it was time to have a visit, see what's going on. The saw you hear is from across the street. A house was bought and is being renovated. I'm so glad to see that there really isn't any water damage, even though it's been open from the other side of this wall for 2 whole years. To say it's a pretty good test, and the house is held up beautifully. I'm really proud of the work we've done here, and I can't wait to get back on track and get the roof on the last bit. It won't be long. I've really done so much structural work here. The wall behind me was completely reinforced, and all the walls along this side of the house that border my neighbor have been reconstructed. There has been an additional wall built in front of the very thin, very flimsy wall that separated our houses, and now it's completely soundproof. I've had a pretty major setback on this project, as those of you that are following the videos on the renovation will notice. There's been quite a gap since the last building video, but we're going to get it back on track. Unfortunately, I had to change civil engineers. I made a couple of mistakes, big mistakes that have to be corrected, but it seems like I've got the support I need now to get it on track. And I'm really looking forward to finishing this house. It's not going to happen in a hurry, that's for sure. Slowly but surely. I want to be able to use the kind of materials that I want to live with for the rest of my life. And those are a little bit costly, so I'm doing things slowly. Look at that. That piece of wood is from the old roof in the other room. Cypress. This must be about 200-year-old cypress. And unfortunately, it wasn't okay for the roof, but I managed to salvage a piece of it and have it placed into the wall for the mantle for the wood-burning stove. I love that. It's going to be so beautiful. So you can see from my face, I'm pretty excited to be here. I'm pretty excited about the new civil engineer. He just seems like he's going to be very, very helpful, and he's going to get me all straightened out. And I really look forward to sharing this project with all of you as soon as we're back. So stay tuned. And in the meantime, I'll be making my videos about my sort of daily life around the island and the cookie business and cycling and all kinds of other things. So be patient with me. If you're here only for the building renovation, it will come back. I promise you, this is going to be an absolutely spectacular house. But for now, here's some drone footage of the site. It's these back 2 rooms that need to get a roof on. And my plans for the back garden are very exciting. It's going to be a tiny little aromatic floral oasis. I've learned a lot from living here on Kea about Mediterranean planting and about creating beautiful hidden gardens from the guest house gardens that we have here on Kea. On the left is a WC, a water closet, a shower, and a little kitchenette, as well as a larger part where the bath is. This rooftop is designed for solar panels. I plan to run the entire house off of solar, not just hot water. And I'm pretty sure that is possible since it's south-facing. This house is interesting because the front room heats up in the winter and the air flows upward towards the back levels, which makes it very, very easy to keep warm. And in the summer, it will not get hot, or it hasn't, because we've done such a great job at insulating. There is 5-centimeter insulation in the roof and the floors of all the levels. So we're in pretty good shape to retain heat in the winter and retain cool in the summer. I've opted not to have music in this video because I'm still a little bit nuked from the Muzak at the Expo. The panoramic view of the surrounding area is pretty spectacular. I love the fact that I'm basically at the end of the road of East Attiki, about an hour's drive from central Athens, and yet it has a really island vibe because out in the distance you see Makronissos Island and behind it you see Kea. The hill behind me was burnt down a few years ago, but it is coming back, and I have been doing a bit of guerrilla planting of oak trees. Oak trees are indigenous to the area, but they haven't been around for a while. They were mostly cut down 100 years ago. So I'm single-handedly hoping to add a few oaks to the area. I've put the architectural plan up in the corner so that you can compare it with the actual physical house, and it makes it a little bit more clear in what direction we're going. In the back of the garden on the right-hand corner, you can also see there's a little storage room that has been there for many, many years, and that is going to turn into a bike shed and laundry room. I'm looking forward to transforming this back garden area almost as much as anything else. And that will be something that I hopefully will start planting in November. In Greece, the planting and growing season is at the beginning of the winter, a bit counterintuitive, but it's good for me because it's when I have a lot of free time as well. In the back bedroom on the left, you can see that we've raised the floor and there's this very large sliding glass window, so it's going to be creating sort of an indoor-outdoor space with this garden I have in mind. Of course, there's always my neighbor that has to be taken into account, but by the time I get finished, it will be so isolated back there you won't even know there's another house. This entire row of houses was built in 1910 by the French mining company for their administrators. It was changed over several generations many, many times. Nobody had licenses while they were changing it, so I've run into all kinds of issues. One extended family owned all of the houses for most of the history, so many boundaries were changed back and forth. Shoddy materials were often used, so a lot of the work I've done has been repair work. This is a great shot of the spa room. There on the left is where the bath will be. The middle room is a shower room. The back room on the right there is a water closet that you can access from both sides. There's a little kitchenette so that somebody can stay there separately. And then here in this room, this built-in area is a small walk-in closet, and there will be a platform underneath these beams for sleeping. Above is just for storage, and there are the stairs down to my office. The vertical openings are meant to give the back side of this house natural light. We'll see if the Planning Commission lets me keep them. They turned out a little bit larger than I had planned. So there you have it, my house from the air. And as for the surprise, I will be on Dragon's Den, which is the Greek equivalent of Shark's Tank, this Friday, so 2 days before this video is actually released. I'll put a YouTube link to the program once it's posted. Suffice to say, it was quite an experience. So have a good one, and I'll see you in a couple weeks. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps YouTube to promote my videos. Bye.